live. Okay, we are live.
Let's see. Well, okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. You're welcome to day two. It's really great to have you here. Wow, we are seeing people joining. Interesting. Like this is
Please
really
drop a comment.
drop a comment. Okay. Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining from. You're welcome to day two of the Global Power Platform Bootcamp. Uh, Yesterday was very, very interesting. Day one, we had over 400 attendees, and that is wow. That is really massive. Yesterday's session was really packed, was power packed. It was so power packed that I started seeing it in my dream. That's to tell you how interesting yesterday's session was. And now we're in day two, and I'm gonna promise you right now, today is gonna be super power packed. So yeah, please let us know where you're joining from, whether from Nigeria, from any part of the world. It would be so nice to know where you're joining from. Okay.
Yes, I can also echo what Ayo said. Yesterday was really amazing. We got to learn from a lot of speakers. We learned a lot about different how we could leverage AI in with Microsoft platforms, and also I learned for the first time about the prompt builder, which was pretty amazing, and it's something that I see myself using pretty often going forward. So I'm really pumped to see what we're gonna learn into this session. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday was really fascinating for me because I learned a lot from optimizing data models. As a data scientist in a financial service company, you discover that when you're loading Power BI dashboard, it's always taking a lot of time. Like it's always taking so long. And yesterday, I loved the way Tina broke down all those complex concepts into simpler bits. For you to be able to optimize data models to enable your dashboard to even load faster and also query your data faster. And that's really, really lovely. And yeah, so we are waiting for comments from people. So let us know where you're joining from, your flags, you can type it out, let us know. And yeah, so we're gonna be showing our global team. So this is the global team that organized this wonderful event. They organized like the Global Power Platform Bootcamp, and thanks to their unwavering commitment to the community. And yeah, and this is the local team. Yeah, this is us. Yeah, this is we Ola, Blessing, Ayo, my humble self. These are the organizers of this Little Rock Global Power Platform Bootcamp. I want to say a very big thank you for joining. So, Blessing, what's your experience like? As an organizer of this wonderful event?
yeah, I would say this. It was a very great challenge to be able to participate and help organizing this event. I was able to coordinate and also actively follow up with the different speakers to ensure they're here on time, and also coordinate with Ayo and Ola in setting up the live stream. And yeah, it was very. It really taught me a lot about organizing events, and
Mhm.
also making sure, like, managing different aspects to make sure everyone comes on time. And yeah, it was really nice so far. And
Cool.
even as a learner too, I've learned a lot from the different speakers as well.
Cool, cool. So for me, I would say it's really a learning curve for me, because when the speakers submitted sessions, we had to start looking at sessions and say, we saw a lot of fascinating sessions, but it was so sad that we had to say, what, you have to come back next time, or we have to do some, we have to maybe invite you during our monthly community meetup. It was a very hard decision to make. Looking into the speakers, some I tell her like, all of this has to say, like, this is very nice. We should keep this. And Allah is like, but look at this session. Let's have a mix of everything. And also, one thing that is really fascinating is that we had sessions submitted from all over the world. and that's really big. Sessions sometimes from all over the world. We have some people that are based in Europe, we have some people based in Nigeria, we have some people based in America here. It was really hard, saying no to some of those sessions. And then what is even funny about this whole organization is, um after we have submitted, we have reached out to the speaker and say you have been selected, have planning backup sessions to say, in case this speaker doesn't show up, what's the plan, what can we do, and all. That's really a learning call for me, because we are here to give you the best, we are here to serve you in the best way possible. So we had to like plan all that out, and it was a learning curve for me. And yeah, and thanks to Ola. Ola is really supportive. He has really been helpful in organizing the event, even doing the designs. You know, man, it's a big one. It's a big one. And yeah, so we're gonna say a very big thank you to our sponsors. A very big thank you to our sponsors, Microsoft Upsides. Yeah, also our local sponsors, Upsides, Evovos. Thank you so much for sponsoring this event. And yeah, so we're gonna move on to the outline for today. Our blessing,
Yeah.
over to you.
Yes. Before I begin this, I just wanted to mention that we had over 400 live streams yesterday, which was way past our expectation, and we're excited to like go into day two. And so for day two, the outline of what we'll be going over is going to be revolutionizing customer interactions with custom Copilot, a beginner's guide to Copilot Studio, navigating the storm, mas- mastering error handling in Canvas apps for a seamless user experience. And another session will be can you graph, learning leveraging Microsoft Graphs API in your Power Platform solutions. Another session will be optimizing data models, so building a cross-functional reporting to streamline business insights. And these are some of the sessions we're going to be going through today. So I'm excited for everyone to go in. So moving on to our first speaker, Precious Sani. He is going to be talking about revolutionizing customer interactions with custom co-pilots. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about who Precious Sani is. So, Precious Sani is a data professional and a graduate student in business information systems and analytics at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, with experience as a data and analytics consultant at PwC Nigeria. He specializes in R, Python, Java, and SQL for data analysis. His expertise spans business intelligence tools like Tableau, Power BI, and Alteryx, complemented by a Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt certification. He focuses on leveraging data analytics for risk assurance and process improvements across various industries. I can also add that Precious Sani is also in one of the most prestigious research institutes on our campus, and is someone that I definitely look up to. So, without further ado, we will be welcoming Precious to the stage. Uh, hey,
Hi
Precious.
everyone.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi Ayo. Hi
Hello,
Blessing.
Precious. So nice to see you.
It's nice to see you all this morning.
Nice to see you.
Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from across the world. It's so good to be here. They were reading my profile and is that me? Wow, it's so awesome to be here. I was in the audience yesterday and I was learning a lot. I mean, there's just so much. In fact, an event like this being free is an opportunity of a lifetime, because starting out in tech, we many of us did not have this kind of opportunity where knowledge like this was just being given out for free.
Free. Mhm.
And this is an opportunity that I think everyone should take. My session today is just going to be building up on the sessions that have been done yesterday. So yesterday we had Emmanuel Fagbele talk about Power Automate. And then we also had Salim talk about Copilot. Now, my session is going to be like a combination of both and using it to apply good solutions to real world use cases. I'm so excited about what we're going to do together. In fact, I almost feel as if I should not share slides and I should just dive straight into the hands-on. But I'll just share my slides for a bit and then we can discuss. You see, the difference between the haves and have-nots years before was money. And then at some point, it was physical strength. But you see, today, it is knowledge. And that is why, as um, people who want to grow, we need to look at how we can acquire knowledge at every point in time. So now I'm going to share my screen now so that we can see my slides. Please, Ayo Blessing, can you confirm if my slide is up? Okay, I see it.
We can see your screen.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about revolutionizing customer interaction or experience with custom copilots in Copilot Studio. In this presentation, we'll explore how custom copilots developed in Copilot Studio can transform customer experience. We'll cover the features of Copilot Studio, though I'm sure the speaker yesterday did justice to this. The significance of customer experience, we'll be looking at that, and we'll also see the compelling benefits of integrating custom solutions like a custom copilot with Copilot Studio. So I'll just introduce custom copilots in Copilot Studio. I'll explain customer experience and why you must look at it when you want to have a successful business. There are 5 key sessions, and I've mentioned 2. We're going to look at the benefits of custom copilots. We'll look at creating custom copilots in Copilot Studio, and then some case studies and then success stories. Okay, I don't think I need to go into this anymore because yesterday Salim did a very, very good job on introducing Copilot Studio to us. But I'll just say that Copilot Studio acts as a very powerful platform for developing custom copilots tailored to enhance customer interaction. Now, this section will provide foundational knowledge about the studio just to add to what has been said already, its features, and the critical role of customization. So you just don't want to build a generic copilot, but then you want to go as far as making that experience tailored to your users, to your customers. Okay, so Copilot Studio is designed to streamline the development of AI-assisted tools that improve user experience. It integrates technologies to help businesses create tailored solutions that align with their customer engagement strategies. Now, if you have a business, you will understand one thing. It is good that you give out quality products or quality services. Now, I can tell you that quality, the definition of quality is bearing upon the degree of satisfaction that your customer or your users have with your product or services. If your customers are satisfied with your product or your services, then you can say you have a quality product or that you are rendering quality services. And one thing that I want us to also take note of is that Copilot Studio is user friendly and very, very beginner friendly. So even if you're someone that has not been in tech for a long time, I can guarantee you that if you follow this my session, you would be able to build a solution today without having to learn new coding skills. Today, just with natural language, you would build something that is very valuable to any organization you find yourself in. So many times, people in organizations feel that they are being sidelined when important decisions are being made. Now, the reason why that might happen is because you are not contributing, sometimes, because you are not contributing key value to the business. But with this skill, you can actually contribute a large percentage of value to an organization. I don't want to go too much into the slide. I just want to just go straight into the aspect of customer um, experience. So it is important for you to customize uh, Copilot or whatever thing you are, whatever tool you are using in your business, so that you are tailoring it to what your audience needs, to what your customers need. Customization is as crucial as it enables businesses to address specific customer needs and preferences, so you can see deeper connections with your customers. And then tailoring the experience can significantly improve engagement and satisfaction levels. So now let's just quickly look at what customer experience is, right? So customer experience encompasses all touch points that a customer has with a brand. So from initial awareness through posts, purchase support, everything all comes together and then defines what customer experience is. So a well-defined customer experience, or what you know as CX, a well-defined customer experience strategy is vital for fostering loyalty and ensuring business success. Why do I say loyalty? When you deliver quality services over time to your customers, to your users, they will become loyal to your brand. And then there's something we call LTV, lifetime value optimization. You would see that at a point, customers stop just being loyal to your brand, they become evangelists of your brand. They begin to tell others of your brand. That is the point every business wants to get to. And Copilot is one thing that can help you do this. So there are different trends that you can see currently in customer experience. You can see personalization, omni-channel engagements, increased use of AI technologies. Businesses are leveraging these every day so that they can create more impactful interactions and then foster stronger customer relationships. And I'll tell you that in today's world, AI is not going anywhere. AI has come to stay, and AI is going to help us. So it depends on how well you can leverage AI in today's world. So, briefly, I want us to look at some challenges in delivering exceptional customer experiences. Some of the challenges that we have today include in providing exceptional customer experience include having data silos, lack of understanding customer needs, or adapting to rapid market changes. Now, I can tell you that the business that uses AI, that uses custom solutions like Copilot, would definitely stand out from among their peers. So, if you want to succeed as a business, you need to overcome these hurdles so that your organization can thrive. Now, let's just quickly look at some benefits of custom copilots. So, you would have personalized customer interactions, tailored customer experiences, higher engagement rates, and enhanced customer satisfaction. Remember, I said earlier, the degree of satisfaction that your customer has is the degree of quality that you can ascribe to your product or service. So if you can use tailored experience to cater to individual customer preferences, it will definitely lead to higher engagement and satisfaction rates. So personalization is a key driver of customer experience, good customer experience. And then I'll just go ahead to list some of the other benefits. You would see that custom copilots, they will streamline your operations by automating routine tasks and allowing staff to focus on more strategic responsibilities. This will definitely lead to improved efficiency and overall productivity within customer facing teams. So I have more slides, but I want to stop here because I'm just so excited about what we are going to be doing today. And so I want to share a live demo of what we would be looking at together. And I'll be opening my browser to share this experience with us. All right, just to be sure, can we confirm if you can see my screen, my Copilot Studio screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
All right, thank you so much. Now, so we're going to be doing something today. This interface should not be strange if you have attended yesterday's session. Before I go into before I go into this, let me share let me share a secret with you, or let me share a fun fact with you. The slide I just presented now was created by Copilot in PowerPoint. I hardly had to do anything. I just shared my ideas, and Copilot came up with the slide, the design that you just saw. Saved me time that I could have used in creating slides to actually focus on skills that I can share with you. So you can see that Copilot is everywhere. And so now I would like to just do a quick demo, like, and then differentiate between um, Copilot Studio and then Copilot 365. Because many times when people hear Copilot, they get confused. You hear GitHub Copilot, you hear M365 Copilot, you talk about Copilot within Edge browser. So everybody's like, there's Copilots everywhere. Which one exactly are we talking about? So 365 Copilot is just like the one I used, embedded within your everyday Microsoft 365 products, your Microsoft Word, Office, Excel. And if you've been following me for a while, you would know that I've done a lot of amazing things with Copilot in Excel. That's a story for another day. But then 365 Copilot, uh, I'll just share that tab. This is five Copilot what and just to be sure, please, Blessing or I already, can you confirm if you can still hear me and if
Now we can hear you. I
I'm
think for a
clear?
minute, like you were like it was broken, but now we can hear you. Okay, now it's cracking a bit.
All right. So now
You're back.
let's look at what we are going to do. So within up here, they have been created previously. And then you can see several examples that I can show you on my screen right now. So these are custom agents that have already been created as templates for you that you can make use of. So you can see this is a weather assistant. This can help you get weather forecasts. This one has voice benefits. You can make use of all of this. This is CV Match is coming soon. So there are some preview features that are coming soon. They are not here yet. So this one can help you use the power of AI to analyze your resumes and help you get recommended resumes. But what I'm actually looking at working with is a new agent. We're going to be creating an agent from scratch. So just dive right in. We're going to create that agent right now. And as you can see, this is the simple interface. I want us to call that agents. So today, I want us to actually create a fictitious business, a business that makes plastic bags, custom plastic bags. And so we can call it Power Plastic, right? So let's call the name of the agent Power Plastic Agents. And then we can give instructions regarding what we want the Copilot to actually make use of. Uh, but we're going to start with describing what it is. This this agent will help respond to customer inquiries via email. In a professional and warm tone. Okay, and then let's go to the instructions. So what do we want? We want to describe the behavior of that agent, including the task and how it completes them. So we're going to say this agent will respond to customer emails and in the process and refer should refer to human agents if the customer requests to speak to an agent, to speak to someone by forwarding the customer email. Having Grammarly corrects some of my, yeah. Okay, so now there we have it, and I'm just going to hit create. So if you don't have Copilot or you need Copilot, there's actually a link. I would ask the organizers to share that link with us, probably in the chat later. So if you don't have that, you can easily make use of it. And that link would help, trust me. Okay, so we've created our agent. Our agent is very, very dry. There's nothing within it right now. Uh, so we are going to do something. We are going to create the experience. One good thing that we have depends on, it actually depends on what you are able to prompt. The kind of prompts you are able to share with Copilot will determine the kind of experience you get. So right now I'm on my 365 screen, 365 Copilot screen, and I just want to share how we can create business documents, how we can create other kinds of resources using 365.
Hi, Precious. I think the I think your network is starting up again. So, because we can't really hear you, you're breaking up. Uh, okay, so let's give Precious about a minute to sort out his network. I'll just reach out to him. Yeah. So yeah, I just yeah, okay, yeah. So we just shared a link to the chat. So if you need access to Copilot, so kindly click on that link and you can set up the your
So
trial version so that you can be able to have access to it. I mean, Blessing, kindly help reach out to Precious so we can
I've
Yeah,
yeah.
Precious, can you
done
hear
this
us?
previously.
I'll just reach out to him.
Okay. Oh, looks like he's dropping off and re-entering again.
Okay. Yeah, so for those who need access to Copilot, so I just shared the link. So kindly check through your chat. Oh, some people don't have us. Oh, I shared it on YouTube. So I think Ola would help me with sharing the link on X. So for those people joining on X, you can look through it. So you would have access to Power BI for free, um, Power App Maker, Copilot, and other things for about 30 days. And I think for Power Automate, you have access for 90 days. Okay, so Precious is back. So I'll be handing over to Precious. Yeah, so hi, Precious. Can you hear us clearly? Hello, Precious.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Uh, yeah, we can.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Oh,
you.
so I think his
Can you
network is
hear us?
behind. I
Oh,
think it's
so sorry
behind.
about
So
that. I got. Yes, I can.
Okay.
okay, over to you.
All right. I hope you can all hear me now. So sorry about
Yes,
that.
can hear you.
I was able to get types and organize the information into a table and also help me create online ordering and refund policies. So it helped me organize all the information and so all I need to do now is to just you. So I'm going to just and also copy the refund policies as well. Yeah. So these are the things I want to use as my knowledge base for the Copilot Studio. So triggers, flows, all of those things are possible within Copilot too, because Copilot actually makes use of Power Automate in the back. I want this Copilot, whenever an email arrives in my inbox, I want Copilot to read that email. I want it to understand that email. And then I also want that Copilot to respond to the customer without me having to do anything. So if a question comes in about refund policies, online ordering, about pricing, I don't need to bother myself with those kind of mundane questions. Copilots can help me tackle all of that. So all I need to do is add a trigger, and it's going to ask me what kind of trigger do I want to use. First, it's going to ask me to turn on generative orchestration. What generative orchestration does is it's one of the triggers that we're going to be using. So I'll just come here and say an email when a new email arrives, actually, when a new email. So you have to be careful here. Make sure you are using this V2 for V3. You might not be able to get permissions. So I want to make sure I'm using the right trigger. So when a new email arrives, sometimes it can be when a new uh, when a new event is created. So maybe somebody adds an event to your calendar. You can. I'll just go ahead and click when a new email arrives. That's the trigger. So I'll be moving real fast now because of time. So we'll add that trigger. And then the next thing we're going to do is add is authenticated already. I need to fix the connection with my Outlook. So So once I have this, because I've done this already in another agent, so I don't want to go. I noticed that I'm very low on time, so I want to be fast. So you fix this. If you have a connect, all you need to do is fix this. If you have a connect, all you need to do here is actually to sign into your after you've created your trigger is to add an action. So what is the action we want to do? We want to say send an email. Also make sure you choose the right um, one. So send an email V2. V3 might not work. There's been some issues currently with V2, with V3. So just try to use V2. That is definitely going to work. So you choose send an email, V2. It's going to ask you to sign in as well if you are not signed in already, but it should work if you've signed in previously. So when you're done with that, you also come down to your knowledge area and then you click on add knowledge. So those documents I created, if I put them on probably my SharePoint, a Word document, I'm going to upload them here. So as soon as I upload those documents in here, you're going to see you're going to see that knowledge base being added. And then one thing you want to do is you're going to turn off allow AI to use its own general knowledge because you want the knowledge to be restricted to your business. You don't want it to bring knowledge from other things. So, in fact, it's so that it doesn't go ahead to go and share um, products from another customer, right? So, you need to turn this off. And then when you're done with that, you publish your copilot. And as soon as you hit publish, you are going to get that. So just quickly, I created one yesterday. Uh, I had anticipated that I might not have enough time. So this is an agent that I created yesterday. And you can go ahead and test it out. So you can ask it questions, right? So you can actually send emails. Share my email with the organizers and they will share that email with you. So as soon as you send this an email to this my account, you are going to get a good response. Ask it any SQL question. So you can ask me any SQL questions using that email. And as soon as you send me an SQL question, you're going to receive an SQL answer. And you're also going to get dad jokes as part of it because it was part of the prompts. So that way, when customers engage with your brand, you can easily get information and they can interact with you, they can share um, files and all of that. Copilot will read those things and then respond to you. So I hope I've been able to share useful knowledge with you. I'm almost at time here, and I don't want to eat into the time of other organizers. But you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. My name is Precious Sani. On Twitter, Pfemi Sani. Reach out to me at any point in time you want us to discuss more. You can test out, they're going to share my email with you in the chat. You can test it out, send emails to that particular email, and then you're going to see a response within a couple of minutes. So thank you all. I've come to the end of my presentation. If there are any chats, any questions, I can take them in the chat and then you can ask me personally. Thank you, Ayo, and blessing. It was really good getting to share this knowledge, and I hope everyone has learned one or two things.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. People in the chat, I don't think I see any question, but please feel free to send Precious an email test out the agent. Thank you so much for this session. Someone says,
Thank
"Wow, what
you.
an amazing session and a great eye opener to Copilot. Definitely building my first agent soon." Yes, Emmanuel, please build and share with us on LinkedIn. If you guys have any questions for Precious, you can reach out to him on LinkedIn and he's definitely gonna answer you. He's a prompt
Mhm.
responder.
Yeah. All right. Thank
Uh,
you so
thank,
much,
So
Ayo, and thank
much.
you, Blessing.
thank you so much, Precious. Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Um,
right.
so
All
moving on
right.
to our second speaker, Christoph. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Just Christoph is going to be talking about navigating the storm, mastering error handling in Canvas apps for seamless UX. So, just a little bit about Christoph. Christoph Kenya is a Microsoft 365 specialist focused on delivering premium enterprise solutions. He emphasizes continuous learning and technological innovations to drive digital transformation, leveraging the integrated capabilities of the Microsoft ecosystem. His expertise lies in optimizing business processes through comprehensive Microsoft 365 implementation and development. So, without further ado, I'm going to welcome Christoph to the stage. Hey, Christoph.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Hi.
Everything is fine?
Everything's fine so far.
Hi.
I'm
Hi,
sorry if I
Christoph.
butchered your name.
Hey.
How do you
Yes,
pronounce your
it's
name?
Krzysztof. It's
Ah,
difficult, I know.
Christoph.
You
Okay.
can call me Chris, you know?
Chris,
It's
okay.
the easiest
Oh,
way.
All right.
I think
Because
I'll work with that.
yeah. It's like Christopher, but with K.
Okay.
Officially.
Oh, okay.
Pronounced this
Hmm.
Europe way, right?
Okay.
Polish is
Mm-hmm.
quite
Okay.
specific.
Yeah.
So, yes, glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I share my screen and let's begin our journey with error handlings.
Okay.
And it will be this screen. Sure. Okay, please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so once again, hello everyone, welcome. My name is Chris. I'm a Power Ups consultant in Poland, working with Team and since 2 months on Microsoft MVP. So that's been a great journey. I'm in the Power Platform community for the last 3 years. My first session actually was at Global Power Platform Bootcamp Poland 3 years ago, but I'm in the community since my university times. I was leading .NET scientific group. If you are interested to get in touch with me, ask any questions about my session, any questions regarding Canvas apps, here's a QR code that you can scan and reach out to me on various social media. But the best one would be to go via LinkedIn. Okay. I also have a blog site that I recently opened. It's still quite close. What you can see is some info about me, my previous session. So it's called empower365.cloud, and I will be building some content about Canvas apps and teams over there. So today we meet here to learn about error handling approach in Canvas apps. So we will go through the introduction. What is it? Why we should even do this? Let's go to the basics then. What we should do to start our error handling journey to identify how we can use a Power FX to handle errors inside Canvas apps. And also we will speak what about unhandled errors? What is it? How to get familiar with it. At the end, I've got few useful URLs for you, which we can call also a takeaway. So let's go to the introduction. Most likely, we are not familiar with each other. You don't know me. I get two dogs and I work with them a lot. I do nose work competitions. I do agility. I do plenty of stuff with dogs. So I like to compare our Canvas apps applications and its behavior to a dog. Whenever we go on a walk, we go to the shop and we see a dog with someone, we expect the dog to act in a certain way. For example, to heel, go next to the leg, right? We expect we expect the dog not to be aggressive to other dogs, not to bark or kids, or seems to be not to provide too much fear around, right? So the same is with our application. So to have a good behaving dog, we have to work with the dog. We have to learn its behaviors and how to empathize to good behavior. And with our application, we have to work to analyze and identify what can go wrong in our process. So we also have to learn our application. We have to learn our process. So then we can work with it to handle all the possibilities, possible errors. And if we don't want to handle all, we still have to decide what is the most crucial, how to communicate, and how to deal with it. Because at the end of the day, our users, our end user application, uh, they have to be happy. Their flawless experience from start till end is something that is building not only like the feeling about the application, right? But also the way if the customer would like to work with us in the future. So all of this is really, really important. So we have to learn how our application behave, how the process looks like, so we can proceed to make our end users go with a smooth user experience. So why we should create this error handling approach, you may ask. As people might fear of aggressive dog, that our user might fear errors. So is it really a fear of errors? I believe it is actually a fear of our end users. That's of course a joke because we love our end users, but if we can be serious here, our end users don't like all of those red errors flying around, right? If they will see those, they will contact us immediately, and if not us, a support from our company, and someone will have to take care of it. And if that already happens, it's pretty much too late to handle those errors. So you have to spend some time during development to make the user experience when we put application to production be seamless. Okay, so the real reason you already know. It is the whole journey. The user satisfaction is a key for us as developers, as makers, as consultants, right? So we have to care about the end user satisfaction. Their seamless user experience is a key factor of happiness, of willingness of use our application, not to throw it to trash as just another app they have to use every day. So we have to take care to provide this seamless user experience as developers. So how we can achieve it in Canvas apps? It's a really good question. And with that question, we navigate to the basic part of our error handling. So we have to take control of errors. And how we can do this? First of all, we have to identify where the issues can occur and decide if we want to handle those errors on those identified points. We can not handle an error if we identify that it might occur because we are also entitled to use something called handling unhandled errors. We will get what does it mean a little bit later. And I also encourage you to learn from your mistakes. So we can think of creating something similar to error log list. We can create a Dataverse table. We can create a SharePoint list where we can store each error that will occur on our applications. So what do you think? Where we should start our error handling journey? And that will be a surprise because at settings, right. So whenever you open your Canvas app application and you hit that gear settings icon on the top ribbon, you should navigate to upcoming features if you want to create error handling in older applications. So you already published the app like a year ago and you want to update it. So then you have to you most likely will have to update it by enabling error handling management. If you put it on, you will have a lot of Power FX functions that will allow us to do error handling. And if you're creating a new application, it is fortunately automatically turned on. So if you're going on the new app, do not disable this because it will be really, really useful because that functionality, error formula level error management allows us to use functions like if error, is error, or errors, right? So those are the functions we will talk about today and the ones that you will utilize inside your Canvas apps to create error handling. So identify was is really important. I mentioned it already plenty of times. So when an error can occur, how we can identify that the error can occur? Most of the times it is related to data sources. Is it the network issue? It might be a permission issue. Maybe depending on the data source that we have, it might be an edit conflict. Maybe we do not provide the proper values that the data source field is required, but it is blank in our application and we are not providing it with the data operation we're trying to do. So the types can be wrong also because it might expect integer and we provide string. Even though it's for, it might be identified as a string, just looking like a number. Okay, so there's plenty of things when the error can occur. So whenever we know how to identify them, because those are the most critical items that the error can occur, we can go to the next part, which is to understand how also errors can occur in Canvas apps. And it is the architecture, it is the how the code is being executed in Canvas apps. Maybe you're familiar with this approach, but out of the box, Canvas apps by default are utilizing sequential load. So it is like going on the stairs. You just provide one foot after another. So you get data source one, data source two, data source three, action four, action five, etc. So it is one after another. One have to complete to, to the next one to be started. So let's look how it will look from perspective of code from PowerFX. So without error handling, out of the box, we want to create new records on two different data sources. So what will happen if there will be an error on the first create new item functionality? The first one fails. Do you know what will happen with the second one? Will it fail or will it go? The bad information is that actually it should be executed properly, which cause a lot of issues on the Canvas upside. Not only for the user, because some errors will be flowing by, but another record can be created. That's really big issue. So once again, we have two actions. And let's look from the perspective of our end user, of our customer using the application. They don't know what is going behind the scenes, but they are creating new record. Boom, error on the top of the site. They are not happy. They are seeing errors, and the first action does not work. But second action works, and then actually it's like, what is going on? There's a plenty of issues. So why is it that bad? Let's look from the bigger picture. User experience. It's not flawless. They see errors, they are not happy, they don't know what happened. Should they start again? Maybe they shouldn't. Should they turn off the application and turn it on like with the printer? That's not the best experience in the application, right? So let's put our user at the second, but the user is the most important factor in our applications. Let's put user aside for a sec. Let's focus on it as consultants, as developers. First of all, the data quality. If one day we would like to create a reporting for our application, there might be some data flowing around that are not connected to a parent record properly and still could be created without any errors. So the data quality sucks. What about the process? Process is something that we as developers, makers, should also consider, especially that we create application for business. So process-wise, we might not create the first record. It's not good, but the second one is over there. So the process data-wise is bad, right? The user experience is also part of the process quality, and it's also bad. So now you can see how bad it can be. So let's fix it. Let's create a happy path for our end users to have that seamless user experience. So maybe you are familiar from classic programming approach with something called try, catch, finally, which is error handling approach. So let's switch it around from this perspective into the scheme, into a diagram. So on the left, you can see your first action. We want to create a new record in our candidates list, as we had in the code previously. So what we can do is whenever this formula level for error level management formula is turned on in settings, we can check if this patch or a different action, of course, failed or was succeeded. So if there was an error, so it failed, we can handle it and recreate the first action. We can patch again, and then we can again check if it worked or not. If it did not work, we can try it for the third time. We can log and create our error log list item. We can notify a user that maybe they should start from scratch. We can also analyze what kind of issue was there, because maybe the user have a permission to read data and not create, and somehow he get access into the wrong place of application. So we have to analyze what's going on. Of course, if there is a success with the first patch, we can just navigate to a success happy path. So error handling is the most important for us as makers, with two main categories of action: push and get. So we put the data on the data source and get from the data source. So speaking power effects, it is whenever we use patch, clear collect, collect, remove, remove if, update, update if. Those are the actions that are most critical to think. So we identify the biggest issues, and now we know that we can go through those into a power effects language to where we should implement the error handling. So what's the easiest way to start? It's not that easy because from my perspective, we have to take care about the data quality first. So whenever you are creating any input fields inside your application that your user will create data, provide data on the keyboard by themselves, I highly recommend to provide a delay input metadata on text input control from false, which is out of the box, to true. So what delayed output control does? Normally, if this is turned off, whenever a user starts writing, it is working with each keyboard press. So our search, if we would like to search for a user via input of email, then it can start searching after first letter, second letter. It can provide a lot of responses. Maybe we're looking for just one email. So we don't want too many responses, or we don't want that value to be blank. So delay output allows us to wait, to system actually to wait till end user will stop typing on the keyboard. Whenever they will stop typing on the keyboard, the power-ups will understand, oh, it's now time to take that value and we can do something with that. So the first step is to take care that if we are utilizing any search, any queries based on user input, that data is over there provided at the final state. not like one character after another. Let that person write it till the end. Okay, next one. After checking if the data is provided, and if the data is provided, and we'll cover that, I highly recommend to learn how to communicate with your future end users. For that, we have a function notify. Notify allows us to create a notification that are up on the upper side of our application at the top. So how that looks like. So within notification, we can say to a user that something failed. We can say, hey, please retry that action, do it again. We can say, oh, you don't have a permissions. Or we can decide what we want to show to them. But we have to think about it really carefully before. So within the notification function, notify function, we have few items that I would like you to know. There are three inputs. Three. First of all is the text. The text can be interpolated. What does it mean? You can provide a dynamic value of a variable, like the global formula. You can create a concat to get information from tables. Another one, so this is what will be visible as text to a user. Second parameter is notification type. So it means how your user will see that message. Will it be a red one? Will it be a gray one? Will it be a green one? So depending what you want to show to the user, how critical and impactful that information for the user is, you can decide which one. Me personally, I suggest to inform about the success with the notification type dot success. So it will be a green one. Hey, your record has been created successfully. Congratulations, you did a great job, buddy. But if something went wrong, I do not recommend to go with that error one. Do not go with the red boxes. The red box always mean it's bad, and you can be sure your end users will reach out to you. So I use information, which is a great one. The third parameter is time. So you can decide how much time your user will see that pop up at the top of your app. So let's go to handling these errors. Whenever we will provide that functionality to be turned on, we will have access to is error, if error, errors table, and up on error property. So those are the error handling things that we can use. So where we should start? Let's start with if the data is there. Yes, exactly, ladies and gentlemen. If you remember the delay output, we have to check if the data is there before we start searching. If we can start searching, let the user provide the whole phrase. So to check if the data is there, we can use isBlank function. We can utilize isBlank or error, which is a combination. But here we've got isError and isBlank or error. So those two functions check if the error occurs before our end users will notify us, because that's too late, as I already mentioned a few times. So isError is a function that you put around your get or push functions. And it provides you the output of true or false value, a boolean. So let's look at the code. Here you got the power effects of creating a new record into the data source for the candidates data source. And the is error only provides true false, so it does not do anything else that says is there an error or not. So we have to add if statement or a switch statement on top of it to analyze what happened and decide where we should go. The beauty of is error is that we can turn it around. So you can use negation, as you can see here, and not statement. So on the left side, there is a regular approach, and on the right side, it's negation. So I like to use the negation, so I proceed with the happy path. And then on failure, I can do if something failed and decide what will be the journey of my users later. Most likely, I would try to put that code to the data source, okay? But we can also analyze. Please remember, if you are part of a team, you're not working alone, you work in a company, you have a support team, maintenance team, use company guidelines. If all of you will be working on the same way, it will be much better for everyone because you will not have to spend too much time analyzing it. Okay, let's go to the is blank or error. This is a cool guy that do two things at the same time. Check if the value is there and if error occurs. But the thing with it is it also provides true or false output. So if you're using is blank in your application, I highly recommend to change it to is blank or error. So you can handle error at the same time as checking if the value is there. So you can also use negation like here. So you are the master of your approach. But please remember, you still might be working on a team and it's better to go with your company guidelines. So if you're using is blank, quit it and do is blank or error instead. But is there something similar? Actually, there is. There is a function called coalesce. So this one is like more complicated cousin because it uses value 1 if it's not blank, but it uses value 2 only when value 1 is blank. It is really, really powerful because you can use it even to check if the record exists on the data source. If it exists, update that record. If it's not exist, create new record. So it's really, really powerful. So if you will learn how to use Coalesce, and it's not that obvious, please spend some time on your development applications, have fun, learn, and whenever you will feel comfortable, then you can change working with if is blank or error to Coalesce when applicable. Okay, next one. Is error is providing true false values. So you have to put if around. So there is a smart guy called if error that allows us to actually don't use external if statement. It actually used that if statement already. So here is a comparison. If error works pretty much like if is error. So we went through all of this, but is it all? Not really. There's also an errors function. So this is a table of error details. And those error details are column, record, message, plenty of stuff. But it works different. We have to check if the table is empty. Look, you can utilize errors function also to handle an error. So you do not have to put outside of that patch function or clear collect function is error of if error, right? You can do the patch and later you can do, hey, let's check if the whole tables of errors is empty on this particular data source connection. And that is the way we can handle that error. As I mentioned, notify is quite powerful. Here, you've got example of concatenating the string from a table of errors via concat functionality of column called column with a message type. So that's really powerful, but this is development knowledge. This is not necessarily to be known for our end user. So there are also something called first error, and those allows us to read errors that were returned with more details, even HTTP codes. But that data is required for developers to learn from the mistakes or to analyze what happened because maybe there is no access. So this is what we can utilize, but we have to decide what we should utilize when. And this is our internal knowledge and approach, how we should and how we want to do it. Here is an example how you can use first error. You can put it inside notify, but I do not recommend that because it's just too much for users. So look here. This is the error kind table. My favorite one, as you can see, there's plenty of information, but my favorite one is error kind dot none. There is no error, but let's put it in the error log that there is no error. That's funny, right? Documentation. Okay, we handled errors. Now let's handle unhandled errors. So what it means unhandled error? We did not handle it with the previous approach. We do not put is error, if error, get those errors, right, on the connection reference. So we taking the approach that maybe there is a general way to handle all different errors that will exist in our application. So this is pretty much what handling unhandled error means. And to do so, we should utilize app on error property. So in our application, you select the app, go to the drop down on the top and select on error. Over there on the Power FX, you can write your own code, like a notify. Hey, dividing by zero, please don't divide by zero. Of course, we can solve it by ourselves with is error function. And is blank or error? Hey, you cannot divide by blank value. Please provide a value. Oh, the value cannot be zero. So we can do it via the first approach, handling the error, or we can handle it on the other way, saying, hey, you cannot divide by zero. Okay, we can use that to create our error log list, but this will be only for those unhandled errors. And how to create performance efficient error log list of handled errors, I leave that for you. Maybe you can figure that out based on your on the components or maybe your own approach, because it's really fun to solve those kind of puzzles. As I promised at the end, I've got a bunch of useful URLs for you, so you can scan those. Those are most likely Microsoft documentation about error handling. So you will be able to read something more on top of this session, to get something else, to understand what are the available options in Canvas apps. Most likely I told you all of them. So from my perspective, thank you. My name is Chris, and I've joined here with you from Poland. I'm a Power Ups consultant, and here once again is a QR code if you would like to add me on LinkedIn or reach out to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Christoph. This was a really powerful session. Please feel free
So
to,
quick.
yeah, I know, time flies. Yeah, please feel free
Yes.
to connect with Christoph on LinkedIn if you have like any questions. Someone on the chat says lovely session, Chris. So
Oh,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much for taking the time to teach us this session. Okay, so we're just going to. Oh, another person says pretty advanced, but a great way to handle error handling.
Oh, thank you. It's the advanced, the you know, if you're starting your journey with Canvas apps, it is quite advanced. That's 100% true. But there are so many pain points for our customers that if you will start earlier, at least knowing that those options are available, it will become really, really easy really soon.
Yes. Thank you so much, Chris. So, for the sake of time, we're just gonna move to the next
Yes,
um the next
yes.
speaker.
Yes. Once again, thank you very much. If anyone have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I will be happy to answer. Thank you very much and enjoy your
Have a
bootcamp.
nice day. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Sorry
Yeah,
for
can
the
everyone hear me okay? Oh, no, no.
yes. So I guess before we begin, I'm just gonna start by um introducing you. So our next speaker is going to be Reid Schmidlin. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong.
You're good.
And the name of his session is going to be Can You Graph Leveraging Microsoft Graph API in Your Power Platform Solutions. And just a little bit about him. Reid is a senior business systems analyst at Centane Corporation, combining his financial industry background with expertise in data visualization and Microsoft Power Platform. A Kansas State University graduate, he specializes in IT process consulting and AI integrated solution development. His unique journey from finance, broker, and trader to tech enables him to bridge business strategy with technology innovation, focusing on enhancing end user experience through Power Platform solutions. So, without further ado, I'm going to welcome Reed to the stage. Hi, Reed.
Hey, blessings. Happy Saturday. Good to be with everyone. Thank you for inviting
Happy
me. And
Saturday. Yes.
kudos to you all for moving this virtual so quickly. I can imagine you all have been sprinting in the background,
Yeah,
just trying to get
yeah.
everything
Just
spun
trying to
up. And
manage time and
yeah,
everything. So, thank you. All
so yeah,
right.
no, kudos to you. And I hope everyone's giving kudos in the chat because I can imagine you all have been working overtime
Yeah.
to get this up and running. So thank you. And thanks
Thank you,
for
Rick.
allowing us to come together and learn.
All
Awesome.
right. So,
Okay.
we're just going to get off the stage so you can begin.
Oh, yeah. And I'm good to start sharing?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you're good.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. 1 second. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, happy Saturday, everyone. So great to be with you. Again, my name's Reed Schmidling. I'm an aficionado in the Power Platform. Like I said, I currently work in healthcare for Centene Corporation, where I primarily consults on IT processes to make them more efficient using the Lean Six Sigma methodology. But in addition to that, I'm consulting on Power Platform solutions, helping develop the citizen developer program within the company, and really being an advocate for Power Platform in my organization. And with that has just become a passion to kind of continue to share that knowledge in different forms, including this one. So I'm so excited to be with y'all today. Um, I came in as a citizen developer myself. I don't have programming knowledge. I don't come from the pro code side. My lovely wife does. And she kind of motivated me to, and I kind of saw an opportunity through the citizen developer program that was getting spun up in my organization to really learn and kind of advance my skills. So and since then, I've been going nonstop. So I'm very excited to present to this one because when we traditionally think about the citizen developer journey and even like getting into the Power Platform, we kind of just think of kind of the plug and play either through developing through Power Apps or building an automation solution through Power Automate. You kind of just do that click and drag, kind of enter your information and go. But I think by kind of expanding your horizons just a little bit more into the API space, I think you can really create some more robust solutions. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today. Not don't get overwhelmed with just thinking about APIs. And I know that can be intimidating at first. So I want to help kind of ease that transition for some and kind of open the door if I could. So kind of going over the agenda a little bit today. I'm going to kind of introduce myself a little bit more. We're going to talk about how you enable Graph API. Unfortunately, there is some steps you have to do before you're going to start using it in your solutions. So we're going to touch a little bit on that and the application registration process. Again, not too intimidating, but I want to quickly go over that. Then we're going to talk about the Graph Explorer. So Microsoft's been so great. They have a UI out there that you can go and interact and test your queries, manage your permissions and everything directly from the UI. And I'm going to kind of go over that, talk about some use cases that we've used in my organization and some of my solutions to kind of inspire you. And then if there's any questions at the end, we will go through that. So first thing I like to do, I like to bring up Bill Murray and say, thank you. You all are rock stars. You're spending your Saturdays, and I guess it was yesterday too, Friday, Saturday, to kind of advance, learn more, expand your horizon. So thank you for taking the time. Y'all are great. I can't thank you enough because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So thank you. Okay, so a little bit more about me. I just like to kind of share a little bit about me when I give my presentation and give these talks, just to kind of bring a little more human side because you're following me through the screen at the moment, so I kind of like to bring a little more personal side to it. So I am a new father. My wife and I, we had our first, so we're super excited. I love that photo because that kind of explains everything. I always giggle when I look at it. So in the free time I do have, I am a Sporting Kansas City supporter. Match day one's today, so I'm very excited. I'm repping the jersey today. Like Blessing said, I am a senior business system analyst for Centene Corporation. We work in healthcare. And if you want to find me on LinkedIn, GitHub, I have those links there at the bottom. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to flip the screen share here in a minute, but I usually like to get some engagement out of you all. So there's a QR code there. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Mentimeter, but if you scan that QR code, it's going to ask you a series of questions. It's just a few, nothing too excruciating. I just like to, make my sessions as engaging as possible. So you can go to menti.com and enter that code there, the 291 61750. Or the easier way is actually just scan the QR code and it should take you directly to it. So if you want to do that, you can. It's just going to ask you what kind of motivated you to join the session today. It will ask what your experience is using the Power Platform, and then just kind of your expertise. And again, just to level set and help. So awesome. And the response is already coming in. So to learn something new, I love learning new things. Implement graph API. Awesome. Good stuff. Awesome. I'm just going to give it a minute, let a few responses come in. Okay. A lot of power and some Power Platform developers. Beautiful. Oh. Okay. Sweet. Well, I appreciate you engaging. Like I said, I just like to make it little engaging as I can for my sessions. Again, if you want to use it, mentimeter.com is how you can create a free account, and you can kind of create these engaging questions for your audience. Something I really like to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on here. And if you haven't answered the questions, feel free to go in. And you can go to menti.com. So I just kind of want to level set on what is Microsoft Graph API. So it's an API that was developed by Microsoft. It uses the traditional REST architecture to access different Microsoft resources. So if you aren't familiar with the traditional methods, you can use any four of the get, post, put, delete. So if you go get information, post information to the API, put, and then obviously if you want to delete anything. As we'll dive a little bit deeper into the universe of potential options and things. I do have that, and we'll kind of dig more into the Graph Explorer itself to show the possibilities of things you can do. But the resources that you can access are endless. I mean, you can go from Excel to Teams to you mentioned through the Active Directory, groups. You can get Microsoft tenant usage reports. I mean, the possibilities are truly endless, and it's almost kind of daunting how endless the possibilities are. And that's why I really appreciate how Microsoft has the Graph Explorer, to where you can kind of test your queries and kind of get some ideas on different queries that you can run. And luckily they have vast documentation that goes even deeper. So we'll dig in that Graph Explorer. There is that URL there, and I will post all URLs to documentation, the Graph Explorer, at the end of my presentation. So if you didn't catch it now, don't worry, I will get that. And what's great about that too, having the Graph Explorer, you're able to modify and manage permissions directly in the Explorer. So you could sign in to your Microsoft account, and directly from there you can modify your permissions. So say, for example, you want to post to a Teams. Well, that requires different permissions through using the API. What's great is you can consent and push the request to your Microsoft admin directly from Graph API. And I'll the Graph Explorer, the Graph API. I know, like I said, when we dive deeper into the Graph Explorer, I'll kind of show how that works. It's very intuitive, very easy. Now, unfortunately, in order to leverage Microsoft Graph API, it does require an application registration. Now, that sounds more daunting. It's very simple. If you aren't familiar or aren't comfortable in Azure, that's okay. You can do it directly from the Azure portal, which is a very user-friendly platform and portal. And I have a guide that will help you enable it. It's essentially enabling the ability to use Graph API. You just enter the name, you set up your certificate, your authentication, and you're good to go. Really simple. And then Graph API, they do have 2 instances. So v1.0, that's the general availability version of the API, and then their beta is their testing. So things in that are not considered general availability and are you do open yourself up to potential issues. I've used several of the beta calls in my solutions and haven't had any troubles, but I just want to call that out that there are 2 different versions there, depending on the type of call that you're making. Awesome. Okay, so when you're in Power Automate and you're building out a workflow, why would we use an API call versus just a native action? I always like to use Teams because I think that's a pretty easy example. Obviously, if you're pretty comfortable with Power Automate, even beginner to intermediate to advanced user, you're pretty familiar with what's available out of the box with Microsoft Teams. You can host a message to a channel. You can add members to a team. You can remove members to the team. But what you often might find is, let's say you're managing Teams membership. Well, generally what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to sequence through a for each loop to say, okay, for each user that we're looking to add, go in and add them. Well, what's great about an API call is batch requests. You can do bulk requests to the API, and which is manage it much more efficiently. And what's great about the using the API call instead of native actions, there's significantly more capability and more flexibility out of an API call. One thing that I've just been wishing for when I was starting out is I had a workflow where I wanted to mention a Teams channel. Well, unfortunately, that's not an out-of-the-box native action. But what's great about Graph API, that's available. You can use the API to post a message to a channel and include the app mention token through the API, and it will alert everyone. So there's significantly more capabilities using an API. It provides much more flexibility. You have that batch request process where you can submit. You're not sequencing one by one. You can send a lot of data at once. It's often much quicker through increased efficiency, and it's actually much easier to debug because you're getting a response right into as the action runs, you're going to get a response, and we'll look at that when we get to the Graph Explorer, because it highlights you can test your API calls and it gets a response directly into the UI. Obviously, it goes without saying that it brings a little bit more complexity. I don't say that to intimidate anyone. I use that as it is going to be a little more complex. It's not so much a click and drag or a drop down menu. But what's great is Graph Explorer makes it much more easier to step into. And because it really, right in Graph Explorer, you can build your query and copy it right over into your workflow. So it makes it much more welcoming, not as daunting. But again, there still is some complexity over a native action that you're just clicking in and selecting a drop down. Okay, so there is documentation on this, and I'm going to post that in the chat. I have all the URLs and links to the documentation just to walk you through step by step, but want to just do a quick high level overview that this is not as daunting as it seems. Now, you do need cloud application admin permission in Azure to complete this. So if you don't have that permission, you would need to go to your cloud platform team to enable this for you, but it's super simple. Like I said, I'm going to show the URL. You can share that with them. Very simple. You just name your application. It's really like 3 clicks. So within, once you land in the Azure portal, you go identity, applications, app registration. You click the box to create a new registration. You enter the app name and specific supported account types, and then you click register. And then from there, you will set up your authentication, and you're good to go. Now, just based on the time that we have today, I don't have time to walk through that entire process, but I just wanted to show it's really just a few steps. It's really simple to do. Again, you just need that cloud application admin permission, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so Graph Explorer. I just kind of want to set the stage before we go and move over, and I'll share my screen and we can kind of do a little bit of a walk through the platform. But it's essentially a web interface that Microsoft created that allows you to test your queries, like I said, manage your permissions, and explore sample queries that others have used or their most common queries. So what's great is it's integrated directly with your Microsoft account and your tenant. So when you log in, it takes in what permission you do have, and then if you need to request any additional to do any sort of action. What's great is then it provides sample queries that are most commonly used, and what's great is they offer even more queries that I'll send that you can scroll through and see, okay, what are even my possibilities? Because the possibilities and use cases are just truly endless. And what's great is it puts kind of everything in front of you. Like I said, you can consent to permissions, request them. Those requests go directly to the admins and they can approve them right in the UI. It's just perfect, easy to do. And what's great too is since you can test your queries, you're not out there in your workflow, testing. You can use the Graph Explorer, plug in your query, plug in the body, the request headers, test it, and debug it directly from there. Makes it super easy, friendly, and you're not, deleting any data, creating new data, posting anything. Very safe. So, okay. So talking about potential use cases that we have used in my organization, that I've used in my solutions myself, and then we'll jump over to the Graph Explorer. So a great one is managing group membership. So again, using the API, you can send through multiple users or remove multiple user ones. You don't have to do for each loop. You could just send that through, do a batch through the API. I kind of used this example earlier, but one thing that isn't native out of the box with Power Automate. I apologize. Power Automate is mentioning an entire team or channel. You could do that in Graph Explorer. You just post a message to the channel and include in your body of the request the app mention token code. And that's it. It sounds daunting. It really isn't. Pretty straightforward. And then what's great too, another big one that we use in my organization. So I kind of sit in the same area as like the product owners for the Microsoft suite for my organization. So another one we were able to do is automate a lot of the M365 usage reports, and that's been very helpful to drive engagement and drive usage. It's been really great. So, and like I said, there's tons of possibilities, tons of use cases. There's a Graph Explorer lists several sample queries. You can find additional queries, and then I'll post those URLs in the chat. But with that, I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and we're going to flip to the Graph Explorer. Just 1 second here. Okay, kind of switch gears here. Oh, and thanks for posting that link in the chat. Oh, hold on. I guess that didn't go. 1 second. Let me bring this. Let's try this. Sorry about this. Technical difficulties. You can cue the let's try. Still no. Okay. I'm so sorry, bro. I had it open, but it's just not in preparation for this, but oh, there it goes. Oh, okay. Sorry. Is it going? Okay, perfect. So this is Graph Explorer. Thanks for posting that link in the chat. So, like I said, here off to the left have all the sample queries you could think of. So, they have anything from simple to getting profile information. Like I said, they have tons of different instances with Microsoft Teams. So if you want to create a channel, add apps, add members, um, mention entire team to a message, you can. If you want to do things with OneDrive, getting files, create a folder, you can do things with people. And again, these are just samples. The possibilities are truly endless with potential. So I kind of have and again, what's great is now this is my developer account. So again, there's, not sharing anything too crazy, but again, it integrates directly with your organization's data and your account. And what I have plugged in here is just like a little example of kind of what it looks like. So how you could test queries directly from the UI. So you'll plug in the URL. Now, this is a sample team that's in my developer account in a channel. And we're going to use just like the simple example of posting a message, testing the query just to post a message, hello world. So we have the request body, we can run the query, and we're going to get a response directly down here in the response preview. And what's great is, again, then if we get any sort of error, we can debug directly from here, make any changes to our query or the body, and just keep testing it. So it's great. So we found our body, the content. Obviously, we don't have any mentions or attachments, but you can go about that. And like I was talking about earlier, what's great is you can just flip over to this modify permissions tab, and you can see, okay, here's the permissions I need to, and you can consent directly to them. So this one, you have your channel message send, you can consent directly to it. If it in the case of instances where you do need admin permission, you could just consent. There's going to be a little pop-up window that comes up from Microsoft, and it's going to send a request to the admin to approve the request. So again, all right here in the UI, which is just incredible. So great. So really, the real hurdle is overcoming is just, navigating and kind of learning more about the information you need to put in the URL and, filling in that request body, and you're good to go. But what's great too with this UI, so likely I'll kind of pull another example here. Let's go ahead and we'll say I want to use a get action or use the get method, apologize, not get action, get method for my join teams. I can click on this and it's going to fill in the URL for me, and we can run the query. Oh, got an error. Either user signed in does not have some privilege or need. Okay, so I can now go over to modify permissions and see, oh, so you need to get some permissions before I can run this query. It's so great. It comes right in. Or like, let's take another good example. Let's say I want to use the post message to send a channel message, like we were talking about earlier. What's great is it tells you what you need. So easy. So great. So we have the URL, and it's saying, okay, we need to go grab the team ID and the channel ID, and that's where we'll put this in there too. So we can go retrieve those. We'll paste them in here, and then when we're done, we can just copy the URL, paste it into the action in our workflow, and we're on our way. Super simple, super easy. Okay. All right. So I'm going to. That brings us to my final slides here. Let's see here, and Q&A. So that kind of wraps up my discussion around Graph API and its capabilities. I have the links here. I'm going to go ahead and post them in the chat. Again, so each of these, the first one is for the application registration. So that's the documentation I'll walk you through. Oh, it looks like it didn't post. Oh, or maybe it did. Could someone confirm if that went through? I apologize. I'm not so. I post. Did it go through to the comments?
Where are you posting it in on YouTube or? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's see.
No, it's not here. I think Raid, I think you can post it in the private chat and then we'll move it to YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the three links I'm sharing are the first one is the documentation to walk you through how to do an application registration in Azure. The next one, and I know, thank you for posting the links to Graph Explorer. I saw that in the chat already, but it's there. And then the last one is just some documentation around additional queries that you can use and what capable of. So, any questions from the audience or anything else?
Okay,
Yeah,
please, if you
no
have any
question.
questions.
No
No
question.
questions so
Okay.
far.
Well, that's probably a good sign. I'll take it. Awesome. Well, I do have. I appreciate the time. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a good rest of your Saturday. Thanks for taking the time to learn more about Graph Explorer, and hopefully it inspires you to go use that in your solutions.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thank you.
much.
No, thank you.
Okay. That was a very insightful session from. Okay, can you hear me, Blessing? Oh, okay. So that
Yes,
was a
I
very
can hear.
insightful session from Red. Graph API, most of Microsoft's solutions are built on Graph APIs, and this is very, very important, especially when you want to innovate in Power Platform. So without further ado, we'll be moving into our next speaker. Yeah, so he's a big man. So so we're moving on to our next speaker, Mubar Dauda, and his topic would be optimizing data model, building a cross-functional reporting to streamline business insight. So whether you are an entrepreneur or you are even working in a company, this is actually very, very important because business insight is pivotal in order to move your business forward. So let me tell you a bit about our speaker. Yeah, about our speaker. So Mubara is a business intelligence developer with over 3 years of experience in end-to-end data solutions. He specializes in data modeling, ETL processes, and visualization using Microsoft Power Platform, Python, and SQL. His expertise extends to machine learning implementation with various libraries and business process automation, focusing on delivering actionable insight through data-driven solutions. So, welcome to the stage, our speaker, Mubar. Hi, Mubar. Hello.
I
Yeah,
hi, Omide. Hi,
it's
Blessing.
nice.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello.
we can hear you clearly, loud and clear.
All right.
It's nice to have you.
Okay.
Yeah, so share your screen.
Please confirm if you can see my screen.
We can't see it yet. Maybe can you try resharing?
Is
Yeah,
it showing now?
not at all.
Okay.
Click on the present button. Okay, yeah, I can see it now.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
All right. Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, anywhere you are joining from. Yeah. Um, in this session, we'll be covering about optimizing data model. How can you make your model efficient, like the performance, and how would you help the business to be able to see the business insights and how to drive business growth forward. So, in this session, we'll be covering the next couple of minutes that will be here. So this will be covering about me, which is you'll be like already saying a great introduction from higher already. Thank you for that. My interest, what is data modeling? Why you need a data model for cross-functional reporting, facts and dimensional table modeling, exploring relationship between tables, relationship type in data modeling, different types of data model and their benefits, and then we go into the hands-on session on how you can implement this in your own business or day-to-day activities. So a little about me. I'm a BI developer with over 3 years experience. I'm Microsoft certified. A WordPress developer here. I've been doing websites before I focus fully into data for years, and I write. So I love teaching, so I've been able to like empower over 1,500 individuals through community training, free training, and individual training that I take to over the years. Yeah. So, an student like you too, lifelong learner, I believe we learn till we die. So I keep on striving better, keep on learning better to become better. So I'm a student at lifelong learning. Um, what are my interests? As I mentioned, you already know like I love teaching. Yeah. I have a channel and I have a blog, like a very active blog where I create tutorials about Power BI and SQL and generally my life experience on what I've encountered, what I've seen in my journey. So I love karate. I'm a karateka. Yeah, and I speak to I have interest in speaking as I'm here also. So I love reading and I love music a lot because they give me inspiration. Because they give me inspiration. So let's get into it. What is data modeling? Data modeling is a collection of tables with relationships, which enables your business user to easily understand and explore their data to get business insights. As we mentioned, so when we say a data model is like a centralized platform where you have different information from different departments. Taking an example for an organization now, let's say a in an organization there are different departments. There can be finance department, there can be sales department, maybe a sales company. They will have a sales department, they will have a finance department that handle the operational cost, the income cost of what comes in from this sales department. There's a logistic department, the supply chain people that get in the orders, the items that needed to be sold. The logistic are the one that will cover how this thing will get to the customer. So these are different departments and they have different information on how they can provide insights of business on departmental wise level. So when data modeling now comes is when you now have like sub department in this department or the managerial view, which is the executives needs overview across business overall business events. This is where data modeling comes. How we can like relate all of this information from different departments together to be able to present it to the executive on how everything forms together and helps with the business. So this is called by Macaruso, one of the pioneer of BI in the industry. So it's like the basic idea is always the same: enable the user to navigate data without writing a query every time. Before data modeling was developed or before it comes into play, there are reporting services like SQL Server reporting services and every other thing that you need to write query to answer a business process. So every time a new business process comes, you need to write another query. So in that way, it is not efficient. Like reporting in that aspect in those olden days are not efficient because they are traditional way. But as we now move into the modern world and technology has advanced, data modeling was introduced where you can centralize and make all of this seamless. Once you set up your data model once, you can keep reusing it forever unless there has a breakage. So why doing data model? Data models simplify data analysis, as being mentioned here, like in the aspect, it simplify data analysis. It's enable relational database. So as we mentioned in our scenario, you have different departments in a company. So it's enable you to like do cross-functional reporting from how the sales tie to finance. So you know, okay, this is total money that the sales department will be able to capture, what was finance able to capture. So you can show, look at the accuracy, look at everything you want to do. So how many orders the sales department covered that they were raised and delivered based on based on what they see in their own information. How many the logistic department delivered and what they have in their own information. So all of this will show the overview of how you can relate information together. So how many orders will get to the customer, how many if complain that the customer support or the customer team gets, maybe some orders were delayed and the logistics say they have been delivered, maybe there are issues that happen. So all those business process workflow, data modeling helps to make that reporting seamless when it comes to the executive overview, like looking at the business process events. So it's improved performance, as I mentioned, because these are the workflow. These are the reason why data modeling is important. It supports advanced calculation. Yeah, in Power BI to do a lot of advanced calculation to get business logic to answer business question, you need to write some DAX code. And if your data model is not good, you will not be able to have a good DAX code. So your DAX will not work. Or if your DAX isn't working, you might not give the accurate result because your data modeling is poor. So, and if you see very good report dashboard out there that you like love, oh, this is very fine. They build very good report because they have a good data model. So without a good data model, you cannot build a very good report. So these are the reasons why data modeling is important. So what makes a good data model? A good data model should have fact table and dimension table. Those are two things a good data model will have: a fact table and a dimension table. So what is fact table? Fact table contains numerical information about a business process or items to be aggregated. Just put it at the back of your mind is anytime you hear the fact table, it means any things that need to be aggregated is what the fact table is. Like your sales amount, the calls, the unit sold, transaction, totals, average, anything that need to be aggregated is what contains a fact table. And fact table is limited without context. Without a context to like provide to it, it's limited. For example, in this our snapshot with a chart with me and Jerion, say, okay, I sold 7. That was the total sales I made for today. And they say, like, yeah, that's a good sale. So 7 of what? When where so like who? So I need the context. Okay, I said I sold maybe 2 items to Ayo, 5 items to Blessing. So there should be a context that will say, okay, this is the context that will break down the aggregate of all those things I do. So and that's where dimension tables comes in. So if you look at it, context is provided by dimension that slides the data. So without a dimension, fact table is useless. And without further aggregation. So when it comes to dimension table contain descriptive information that define how fact table should roll up. As we mentioned, as you see in the previous slide, fact table contain aggregated stuff and we see. So if you want to like know, maybe we sold maybe 7 items in January because that's a month. You can relate something to it. 5 customer buy this, and what are the customer? Are your blessing mobile? These are people that buy, and then we said maybe 10. We have 10 orders from Arkansas. We have 10 orders from Lagos. These are context because this is what dimension produce. So without dimension, there is no context. So dimension produce all this information, and that's what fact table and dimension do. This is like a pictorial information and a quote. I like my favorite quote from Ralph Kimball. So he said, a dimension provides who, what, where, when, why, and how, which is the 5W and H business process, which is 5W and H question, context around the business process. So if you're in your data model, if your model cannot provide all of these 5W and H, your reporting will not be like, you are not building a streamlining reporting, you're not building efficient reports, because your report, your insights, you'll be able to answer this 5W and H question. And what you provide it for you is your data model. So you need to like, that's what I mentioned this, and I will go into that. So we come into relationship. As I mentioned, we have fact table, dimension table, which is a data model. There should be a relationship between these two. So what's the relationship? As I saying in the image here, is the connection that will connect the fact table and dimension. So for them to like be able to like relate together, we have 7 items in the aggregate table. So how do we want to like know the customer? So there should be something that will tie them together. That's what we call a relationship, and that will get into that. So sometimes might be between dimension and dimension, but majorly is between fact table and dimension. So there are 3 kind of relationship. Sometimes when you're doing your data model in Power BI, you will see 4 kind of relationship, but it's same thing, one to many and many to one. That's what you see when you're doing your cardinality in Power BI. So they are the same thing. It can be one to many or many to one. There are use cases or scenario where you have many to one, and there is where you have one to many. They perform the same function. They are the same thing. So the other one is one to one, and then we have the last one is many to many. So how do we know about this relationship? So these are the type of relationship we have to one. We will say one to one. In this aspect, it means one individual record in one table is mapped to another individual record in another table, which is the match. In a pictorial scenario, like a simple scenario we have, if you have your phone with Face ID, if you want to unlock your Face ID, it's only you, your only phone, because when you set it up, your phone only recognizes your face. That's like a one-to-one relationship, because it's only your face that can unlock your phone. So that is how one-to-one relationship like works. So for one-to-many, it means one user is have multiple records in another table. It means one individual, one record in the data set A is mapped to multiple records in the data set B. In this aspect, like a normal day-to-day scenario of what you do in your daily life is you, for one person now, you might have different social media accounts. Yeah, it says social media account, but one person can belong to social media. Like for me now, I have Twitter, I have LinkedIn. It's the same name, back on my Instagram, my Facebook, what is social media again? So like one social media, like one person have multiple records on on another platform. So that's how it what's it called? Many so many like one to many looks like. So when it comes to many relationship, it means many user has multiple record in that aspect. So as I mentioned now, like you what's it called? Okay, let's pick example for maybe your centralized PC, maybe your organization, or okay, let's pick our social media for example also. So you can have multiple accounts in your what's it called? Um, in your social media account. Let's say for Twitter now, you can have one account that you can create another account to with different user. You can create another account with different user. It's like you and those accounts you create different user. You can log in any other way. You can log in on your PC. You can log in on your tablet. You can log in on your iPhone. So you see, maybe it's still saying this like one user. Maybe if it is what's it called, Ayo is the user now. Ayo can log in on his PC, log in on his tablet, but the same user, but it means it's different devices. So it means they have multiple records, the same user, but they have many records in one aspect and many records in another aspect too that they can combine together. So those are kind of many to many. So it means multiple records in data set A. It means one person here can have 10 person here can have another 10 person, which is different multiple records in another table. That's how relationship works. And then we have the types of data model. So these are things like you need to like look at. So in data modeling, when it comes to data modeling, we have 4, which is, and the major things that majorly concern is dimension, because that's what you actually need for business process. So a flat table is just a flat data model is just like your normal CSV file, the normal package file, like file that is like not structured, unstructured data. That's like unstructured data, like CSV, text, stuff. Those are flat flat table. Those are flat data. So for normalized data model, it means you have a structured data, a tabular form data, and every individual record in this tabular records are unique. Like you have unique, maybe you have like 1 to 100, maybe record of a student, or 10 record of 100 others, and each others have different order, like a unique ID across. So those are normalized. It means it is a structure form, and everything is what's it called unique. So maybe that's what a normalized data is. When it comes to dimension, because now we are what it that's what this is how a Q data model and works, because you are working with different tables and they need to be related. This is where now we now have star and snowflake schema. So the star schema is you're having one fact table, which is your aggregate table. Sometimes it might not be one fact table, it might be 10 fact tables. In this in our demo, I think we'll be using like 3 or 4 fact tables in that aspect. So you have a dimension, so that will relate this together. As we mentioned, you have the overview, and then you might have logistics, sales. These are things, or maybe products, the customer information. Those are dimensions that will give you, okay, maybe which product was sold, which customer buy the product, and all this other stuff. So the snowflake is means a dimension having another dimension. So once in a dimension always mostly contain unique information actually most times. So those are things about it too. For example, in a snowflake now, maybe you have a product information that contains unique products, and a dimension for that, another dimension for that can be a product category. Like you have a product and a product category, you have a subcategory, you have the overall master category. So maybe classifying another way too. So that one can be connected to the product table. So those are kind of dimensions table. So these are type of data model we have when it comes to types. And then how does it benefit your report? How does it benefit your performance? How, like, with this, optimize your reporting efficiency and make everything efficient, make it time savings, like, for the business. So flat table, because the performance is very low, because what's it called? It's a CSV data. It doesn't take all my performance, which you normalize, because sometimes it might be large data, sometimes it might be medium. So it depends on the volume of the data that will determine the performance. Star schema, it's high because you have multiple relational database. So the performance, it takes high performance, and how you now like optimize it. So now you say, okay, well, how do you want it to be for complex for your analysis? It depends on your optimization. Same thing for Snowflake, because these are multiple tables and relating together. So development efforts, low efforts, high, every other thing is high, because they are big data actually. So it takes time for you to like do optimize and do all of this to have a very efficient business operations. And we have query volume and complexity. So as been mentioned, flat is just a low data, so it doesn't consume anything. For query volume, as normalized data getting big, it will be taking more query volume, because it will taking more time to like compute the query, any logic you put behind your Power Query or any other thing. And then star schema, low volume, because you've already like streamlined. The reason why query volume of normalized is high, because it's a structured data and normalized unique data. So for you to like make that optimize, maybe normalize data, you need to like break it into a dimension, which is will give a low volume. Maybe whether one data, you can break it, you can bring out dimension from there and make it create a factory one dimension from those one table. So these are practices you do when you're preparing your data for modeling and in Power Query. So internet for, like, where do you use all this, like where can you find all these different type of data models that we like discussed? Flat table, no database, as I mentioned, it's just like flat type CSV, can be anything. So it's unstructured data. So it's no, you cannot see in database. So normalized data model is usually from a CRM app, ARM applications, and all this other stuff. And then we have star schema, majorly because these are a large data and different tables that you need to relate together. So they are in data warehouse and your database, analytical systems, things and stuff like. And then compression, these are row by row, and then because other ones are column by column, because they are different tables. So they work on a column base. So that's the benefits. And then we have what we call like role playing dimensions. What do you mean by role playing dimensions? Is a dimension that can filter related fact differently. Same dimension we use multiple times. So what this is saying is we have a dimension. Let's say we have different scenario. And for example, now we have order dates, you have shipping dates, you have delivery dates. and the business wants to know, okay, maybe across the period, maybe in January, February, March, maybe in the first quarter of the year, how many order do we deliver, do we ship, do we do? And this ship order has different days. So you want to know specifically in January. So how can you like compute that without like do? So if you want to like do this, you have what we call a DAX function called user relationship. You create one active relationship based on the date you want to centralize and use, and then you use your user relationship to compute every other day to activate every other inactive data you might want to use to get the accurate insights. And what you'll be doing in our demo. Auto date time. So one thing that Power BI does is it's created, if you have multiple data tables in different tables you have, like you have a date column. So Power BI create your data model creates a date table, which is a date hierarchy automatically for your information, which means it will make the performance of your data model very slow, because those dates need to be completed then before you load anything. If you're using any date information, go and look at the dates, look at your model, go and look at the specific one, because it will take time to compute those hierarchy before you load, and your report will be slow. If you, I don't know if you have noticed that, maybe you've come across a report that gets so slower before. Those are the reasons, one of the reasons you can do so. What you can do in this aspect, if you have like all those data information, is to introduce your own date table, create your own date table that will centralize all the dates that you might have in your data model, and pick the only specific one that you necessarily need. So that will be all for our demo, and then let's get into our demo. So in next few minutes, these are things we are facing. So we have this problem statement here on how we can like do. Charles Enterprise operates across multiple departments, including sales, logistics, marketing, and customer support. Each department generates and manages its own data, which is currently siloed and integrated into a unified system, and not integrated into a unified system. So this lack integrated leads to inefficiencies, delayed decision making, and missed opportunities for business growth. Management requires a realistic view of the organization operation to optimize workflow, improve customer satisfaction, and drive revenue growth. So these are the key challenges that Charles Enterprise is facing: data silos, inefficient, and what are the things that they need to, like, you as a developer, BI developer, so like to help Charles Enterprise in this aspect. So you need to develop a centralized model for the reporting that will integrate this data from different departments together and provide the management with comprehensive and real-time view of the organization operation. So they can see cross department insights and customer journey, the performance metrics, and make a proactive decision before anything like happens. So let's go right into it. So we have our data model here already. So as mentioned, we have the sign up for marketing, the orders from the sales, the delivery from logistics, and the customer feedback from the customer support. So if you notice, one of the things we like look in this aspect is we have different dates in all of this table. So for customer feedback, now you can see complaint dates, order dates, feedback dates, resolution dates. So for what Power Query does for each of these is they create a date hierarchy in this aspect. If I come to the table view, you will see a date hierarchy in all of this. So you can see all those that's what you created. So you need to like know what are the specific things that the customer feedback needed to like do. For customers complaints, the day they actually need to get their reporting is complaints. Every other date is to track anything they want to like do. Like other days is okay, this is the day that the other, this is the day the complaints were made to them, because the only thing required of them in that department is customer complaint data and resolution when the complaint was made, and when the resolution was made. So every other date is not important. So delivery, so they have different things. They have delivery date, which is when they deliver the order, which is most important for them. So every other dates are important if they want to like compute their process, which we'll look at do. So the first thing we need to like do here is actually you need to, because we need to create a date information, because don't forget the business wants to see the overview of how this business works. So for example, let's create a new tab here. So let's say we want to see the total complaints made. The management wants to see the total complaints made across the year. So we can come to complaints, and I'll select my data hierarchy here, month, and then number of complaints. Where is the feedback ID? So I put this here, You can see the number of complaints across the month. So let me copy this, Control C, Control V. They want to see for delivery to the number of deliveries because it's different departments. So if you go to delivery, you can pick delivery month too, because all of these have different information across they want to do. So they will know how to make decision and look at the process and relate them together and help them make their decision better. So now total number delivered order, which is number of order delivered. So yeah, we have blank, and because the delivery date, their orders are not delivered yet. That's why they have blank. So we have that one, second one. Let's put another one from another department. Let's see maybe total orders. Let's see the total orders. Let me remove this about orders, and then I'll put the order date, which is the the month that the order were made, and then we have number of orders, just like order ID, your warehouses. So, and we can have that, and then next one we have from another department is marketing. So we want to know the sign up and maybe the converted that was done during the sign up. So I'll just go to the marketing department, which is sign up down here, and then sign up date. You can see we have hierarchy for all of this. And in this aspect, this is not useful. It's not optimized for cross-functional reporting. And you will see the reason why. So number of sign up, let me look at customer ID here. Here. So these are sign up we want to do. So the business wants to see across department, okay, this is feedback for the month. This is the for the month. Okay, let's bring the slicer here. We want to see a specific month of what happened, or maybe from January to March. So there is no thing that can relate all of this together. Don't forget in data modeling, you need to have them related. That's one thing because these are information and business wants to see, okay, for January to March, let's see what this each department perform. And we can now relate, okay, what's happened? Maybe we have more complaints so far. Why? What is the reason for complaints? We can go to the customer support department, like, okay, we have more complaints. What are the reasons for complaints? A deal tool can be created to another page that will look at, okay, these are the feedback we get from the customer. Maybe the driver are not delivering well, they take time to deliver. They will come back to the what's it called? They will come back to the logistics department. So what are the reasons why your driver is not do? Or customer are getting incomplete item that they order, or some item are expired. They will go back to the sales or the supply chain department, like, okay, why are you procuring things that are already delivered? Why the sales department cannot do the quality control of what they want to do? So now there's nothing to relate this together. So in this aspect now, to like create this, you come to your data model, you introduce a centralized. Before you introduce a centralized table, don't forget you need to optimize the short. So you go to your file, you open your option and setting. So actually, um, I will always turn off my automated daytime. So because to improve my performance, so you can see turn off here in data load. You come to data load, you will see turn off because in this my scenario here, I just turn off for only this file and turn it off for only this file for this presentation. So I will just check it and I'll take it. Okay. So when I turn it off, all those date information, I always have date. I just have date column. I don't have date information now. So if I go back to my report, you will see that everything has broken in this aspect. Can you see that? Because in this aspect, I need to introduce a centralized date that can work with all of this together. So the reason why this is broken is it's showing by day to day by day to day because I've turned off the date hierarchy that can give us those months. So because I want to optimize the model so it can perform better. So what I will do is introduce a date table, which I will go to my table view and I'll click on new table. When I click on new table in this aspect, I have a report share somewhere here or on your browser. So when you put that stump, it will take you to your Google and you see the grid up there. So just click about that stump and then you can find all the any DAX that I've used in my business use case and the one that I find also You can find it in this GitHub that you can do. So it's getting updated as my use case, what's it called, goes by. So you can just copy this dates information here. So this is the date table from Razor that I like got well. So I'll just put that there, and then it works for everything you might need in your organization. So it computes anything. You can keep adding your own more column that you might need for your own business use case in this way. So I'll put, I think the sign up data is a list date here, so which is a sign up date. No, not this. Sign up date. That's the list date I have. I think that's where a customer needs to sign up before they do. And the maximum date there should be a complaint date. Customer complaint. That should be the maximum. And then once I check, okay, let me pull start of month. I'm using other dates in this aspect. So once I check this, a date table will be created that will contain, you can see all this information here now. So the next thing I will do in this aspect, once I create a data table, is because I want my data model to recognize this data table as my centralized data. Everything I want to do that will make everything cross-functional, use this date. So I will just mark this as a data table that, okay, my model know that any date that I use, that I have in my data table, is coming from this date. So anything I relate this date with is only what will work with that date. So I'll be using month here and just sort this column by year and month so I can have the sorted information. You can have a sorted information. So once I come here, I'll go to my model again, sorry, and then I'll relate all of this close. So bring my data model. So one thing I actually want to create also is city information, because we have another city information they might want to see across because they have different branches. So let me just relate all of this one and for all. I'll come to new table also here. So because the department wants to see across all cities, so you need to like relate all of them together so you can have cross functional. So I will just say maybe a city table here, and I will put distinct. So because I'm picking any table here, what this distinct does is you can pick any city from any table because it contains same city across all of them. Because so we'll pick the distinct city and give me only the distinct city. It should be 5 or 4 or anything. So once I have here, I have two dimensions that I want to like do in that aspect. You can see the city table. So these are the cities across all the data. So once I connect this, the date, because I already marked the date, so it means I'm using sign up date to this. So anytime I'm showing information, I want to explain the cardinalities. So anytime I'm explaining information that relates to marketing, this sign up will only pick the information that regard for that month by sign up if I'm using these dates. For others, it will only pick the orders for that month. So this cardinality, when I do ignore, you'll see many to one because I'm dragging from the table that contain many information, and date is like a unique date table there. So we have cross filter direction. What is cross filter direction means? Anything from this is single and both. So anything I'm applying to this, like this one that is single, and it means anything from this date table should only filter everything here. It means everything in this sign up table should not filter dates. It's data will filter it. So the reason for that, if you're using both, it means if you connect this same connection to every other thing, the other table will bring in the filter from other table to apply it to that one that you change to both. So if you're having both, you have redundancy, you have repetition of information. So let me save that. So now it's time to go. And then now for delivery now, in this delivery, we have delivery dates. You might want to see number of delivered, and I want to see number of orders shipped or number of ordered, let's say number of orders shipped. In this aspect now, I'll make it inactive because I'm having multiple dimensions from this information now. So that's why I need to make it that I cannot have like two active relationships in one table to another dimension. So this is our dimension here date, and our city here is a dimension too. So the only active one here is the delivery date because the logistics department what's it called, need information on what has been delivered. So any other thing that not been delivered, then one wants to like look at it, or the manager wants to look at it, you can now using your DAX to like do that. So for customer feedback, you can look at complaint dates, and then if you want to like do many other things, so you can do resolution dates. Maybe you want to check the number of things that were complaints for each month or each period to the number of what were resolved. So in that aspect, you need to like pull the solution data as inactive if you want to maybe comparison, because okay, in January, how many complaints were moved, how many complaint was resolved. So for you to get those things, you need to like do those comparisons. You need to like use user relationship. So if you are trying to look at those analysis of managerial view. So that's one. And then for city, so the reason why I will just like set up all of this, and then we go into the very fast one. I think this is the fastest way that I can just add. I think let me move that. So I think we get the scope of that. So when I go to my reporting now because I already have a change of information in this aspect. So I will change all these complaint dates because I have a centralized date table for each of every one of this information now. So what I will do is I will bring the month, maybe the month and year in this aspect now. For this, you can see now, it's showing that day because I've centralized my date. So what this is speaking in this data, if I put month and year now, it's speaking delivery month and the year for what's it called? For delivered order. For sales order in this aspect, it's using the order date because that's what I set up in my data model. So it's picking the order dates, the month and year of the order dates, and you can see this here. So for sign up, it's using the sign up date. So anytime you filter anything here, it's picking the respective dates that department use. So if I want to like maybe filter now because we have a streamline across departments, when I put month and year and I select January, February, you can see everything like works together now across departments. So select multiple, you just hold on control and you select everything you want to select. So that's how we build functional reporting. So another one I want to like show you is the city that we created. So if I come to my city table that we centralized, note, not every city will be, not every visual here across department will be filtered. If I select Berlin, you can only see two things happen if you notice that. If I select loading, you can see it only happens to only two departments, the sales department and the sign up department, which is the marketing department. The reason because when we create this, the customer wants to see we only have city centralized to only two departments. We don't have it centralized to other departments. So if you want to do for other departments, you want the manager to be able to see overview, cross-functional across all of this. You can do that. So the other thing we want to do is user relationship before I think I have a little time here left. So I want to see number of orders that were, what's it called? You know, I want to see number of orders that were resolved. So if I want to do that, I'll just come to my customer feedback here. I can create a DAX, maybe right click and create a new measure, and I'll say resolved, which is resolved. I'll say calculate, what's it called? Calculate distance counts or counters, count everything. I think I use counts. I didn't put distance in my stuff. So counters of customer feedback and then user relationship. What user usually is like, okay, look at the column that you want to pick. So I want to pick using evaluation of the DAX. So you need by the two columns that I want to like connect together. So look at the date table, which is a date table. Okay, the date table date and relate it with customer feedback resolution date. Don't forget there is a connection there, but it's not active. So in this aspect now, this is active. Once I create this, it will count Oh, resolved already exists in the column. So number of resolved number hash. So like put that in, the measure will be created. So like take this, you can now see the comparison across each month. So where's the result? Can you see that now? Okay, I'm not using, if I put this here now, you can see. So you're saying for January, we have 87 and we have 70 results. But if I'm not using, what's it called? If I'm not using user relationship, so let me just create another one that will now compare. Just do count rows, resolve no user relationship. I'll just do maybe a count rows here, and let's see what we have in that aspect. So if I drag this, oh, you can see when I change the information now, you can see everything looks together because there is nothing to like, it's not picking the accurate information because we are using complaint dates and we are looking for what was resolved. Oh, sorry. Calculate, yeah, we are looking for what was resolved. And then that's why we have this information. No, I don't put the calculate count. How can we do results? So we need to like put something that will relate them together. That's why we can use user relationship in that aspect because in this hackathon, I know we can create something that will relate that, okay, we want to know the one that's the what's it called, the complaints made and the one that resolved. So that's why user relationship in this aspect is useful. And then you can see how it helps when building cross-functional reporting across different departments. So if there's question, I think I can take in question. I think I've used more than my time. Yeah, that will be all for this session. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mubar. That was really a powerful session. Um, does anyone have any questions? I don't think so. But that was really informative. So thank you for sharing and thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, and also in case you need a link to the Power BI to kind of like apply everything you learned, um, uh, Ola just shared one in the comment section, so you can use that link to access Power BI. And also, please connect with Mubar on all social media platforms. He also shared his GitHub if you want to get inspiration for projects too. So feel free to look at his work. All right, so um, yes, so and we've finally come to the end of this boot camp. Today is the final day, and so before we close off for the whole boot camp, we have a technical challenge. A challenge. Please join our challenge to kind of validate your skills based on what we've learned so far. So if you scan the QR code on the screen, you should be able to access the challenge. And I'm just gonna leave it for a few seconds so like everyone can scan the QR code. Here you can be able to apply everything that you've learned so far, and maybe create a Canvas app or kind of play around with Power BI. And also, yeah, there's the link to the challenge as well, posted on the screen. So you can be able to basically apply everything you've learned today. Play around with Copilot Studio and Power BI. And also, there's different opportunities on with the Power Platform. So if you want to explore different opportunities available on Power Platform, you can scan this QR code or go through this link. So if someone can help post it on the comments as well, post the link on the comments. So this will take you to where you can explore different, submit applications for the different opportunities that are available on the Global Power Platform. Awesome. Thank you, Negan, for posting this. And yeah, finally, we would very much appreciate your feedback. Please share your feedback. Feedback is extremely important to us, so we can be able to make this better, um, even better the next time we organize this event. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been a very wonderful 2 days. I've learned a lot. I've also like learned new skills that I'll be
So thank you
applying
so much
myself.
for joining us.
So been a very wonderful 2 days. I've learned a lot. I've also yes. So Aya, if you have anything to say, please feel free.
Okay. So somebody dropped a comment. I think let me just read the comment real quick. Says today's session is loaded. Thank you for all the opportunity to learn from great minds. Yeah, I would say it was really loaded. Sounds pretty advanced, but these are things that are very important for you to have a very lovely career in the Power Platform area of things, from Power Automate to building with Power Apps to use of Copilot and even working with Power BI. It's very important. So yeah, thank you so much for that comment, Christian Unwosu. Okay, yeah, I
Also,
think
please
that'll be
don't
all.
forget to connect with all the speakers. And if you
Yeah,
have any questions, you can reach out to them. Like, it was really insightful, everything that they taught us. And please stay connected with us on LinkedIn. I think we have a group on LinkedIn as well that you can
yeah,
join, the Global Power Platform. Um,
yeah.
yes, please.
Yeah.
Do you want to share the link to the group?
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna do that shortly. So and also you can connect with us on LinkedIn. I am Blessing, and also give me a minute. Also, you can join the Little Rock Power Platform community. So I'm going to drop the link right now. So please join, share your ideas, share your knowledge. Yeah. So yeah, I just posted the link. Yeah. So I think that's the link. Correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me just post this. Yeah, same thing. All right. So this link is also going to be posted on X. So I'll do that shortly. So please make sure you join. We want to have, if possible, before the end of this month, we should have 1,000 group members. It's very important. And more importantly, your feedback is important for us because we want to know how we can, um, you know, serve you better, how you think we can improve things and all. That's very important for us. Yeah. So please scan the QR code and put in your feedback, positive, negative. We are looking forward to receiving it all. And yeah, that will be all from my hand. So thank you so much one more time for joining the Little Rock Power Platform Bootcamp. And hopefully, everything you have learned during this bootcamp, you're going to work it out, build projects with it, tag us, let us know, tag us when you post this project on Twitter or LinkedIn, tag us when you post this project, so we can give our comment, and share your knowledge with the community. Is very important. So once you work on something, share what you have learned, share your mistakes, share the learning points, and let everyone learn from what you are currently building. So yeah, thank you so much for joining, and do have a wonderful day, or do have a wonderful night for those who are about going to bed. All right, bye everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, blessing.
Bye.